You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week, talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. And we are, what do we got? Deep into summer. Is feeling pretty good. Things are growing really fast. When things are growing fast, everything grows fast. Weeds. I mean, I just pulled a 3-foot dandelion. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. It was intermixed, disguising itself in the patch of wildflowers. What are you doing in there? How'd you get in there? Get out! So I had to pull it out. Pulled right out because we'd had that rain last week. But it makes it easy. Everything grows fast right now, except for some of your flowers. Some of them stop growing for some reason, or they stop blooming. And so I thought I'd share with you just a kind of an insider tip on how to get those flowers to continue blooming, especially those wildflowers or perennial flowers, things that come back year after year. Many things will reseed. And so they start to set seeds right now. So they've been in bloom for 2 months. And so they go, I'm pretty enough. The pollinators are out, the butterflies, the bees, they've been out doing their thing. And now all of a sudden the flower goes, I don't think I need to flower anymore. I think I'll just focus on forming seeds so I can spread my ken all over the yard and just populate the whole yard. And so they're vigorously focused on seed, reproduce. This fall, I'm going to spread my seed everywhere so that next spring I can start taking over the whole yard. This is how plants are programmed to basically populate the hillsides. That's why you see entire hillsides with California poppies or echinaceas or asters or whatever the perennial flower is. That's what they're thinking. And so they have no intention of keeping the blooms going, but you can trick them into blooming more. And the secret is don't let them go to seed. Don't ever let them think for a moment they can reproduce in your yard. Nope. You just keep your pretty little head blooming. Don't you focus on seed. In fact, the California poppies, they've just got these long seed pods all over them right now. They haven't had a bloom. That big orange flower about the size of, I don't know, a pickleball. So that's how big they've been. And now we haven't seen one in probably a month because they're focused on seed. But if you can take those flowers when they start to fade, when the flowers of the petals are gone, you get that big middle center and just pinch that thing off. That's called pinching or deadheading. So if you deadhead that flower or pinch off that spent flower, not the whole plant, don't cut it right down to the ground, although that might not hurt them either. Now they're really focused on growing, like reproducing foliage too, but that's a bit aggressive unless they've got problems like mildews or the bugs have just taken over and there's just no hope. Take a lawnmower weed whacker, just whack them right down. That's extreme for middle of summer. Pinching is very common. Gardeners know how to make plants bloom again, and that's how you do it. And so whether it's a sage, salvia, echinaceas, gaillardias, rudbeckias, all these different coreopsis has been in bloom like crazy. It's a little tiny pom-pom shaped wildflower, loves full sun. It's had hundreds of flowers, and now you've got 10. Going, okay, maybe it's time to take a moment. It takes all of no time. I mean, go through like Edward Scissorhands, just take off all those flowers, just take them right off. And throw them on the ground or throw them in your compost bin, or they haven't formed seed yet, but they're going to if you leave them alone. So what I've been doing is deadheading my roses. I cut back some roses, a shrub rose, and literally within I don't know, by the end of the week, it was starting to bloom. Now, it wasn't fully covered in flowers, but it will be. So I just took all those spent flowers from the spring. I said, okay, guys, here we go. We're gonna shape you up, give you a haircut. Gonna take all those spent flowers, pinch those off, give you some flower power, some fancy fertilizer, and boom, they instantly start forming new flower heads. And their thinking is, oh my gosh, what did they just do to me? I was going to populate this entire backyard, but now I've got to start all over again. And so they'll form new flowers, attract the pollinators. They come in and they start to bloom again, set new flowers. It's easy to trick. A secret with flowers, many of them have a clock built in. You cut the flower off, 45 days later, they will be in bloom, full bloom again. So if you've got a major event, a backyard party, a wedding, you can count back the number of days. It's like roses are a classic. We always want roses in full bloom for Mother's Day. It's a perfect gift. And so we just count back. Okay, we're going to go to about April 1st. We're going to shape them, prune them back, fertilize like crazy, get them to come back. They will come up with new flowers, and whoa, come Mother's Day, they are in full glorious bloom. You can do the same thing for a April, a May, a June, July, August event. You can do the same thing, even if it's in full bloom. A hybrid tea rose, and you want it to bloom August 15th. We just count back. Okay, I'm going to go with June 1st. I don't care if it's in bloom or not. I'm going to whack it back, fertilize it so that it will be in bloom at that certain date. You can do that for a lot of different plants, and it's called pinching or deadheading. So you're tricking the plant into blooming at a certain time frame. The secret is you can't just take off the flowers. It takes a tremendous amount of energy for a plant to focus all its energy into a flower. It's more than just photosynthesis. It needs nitrogen and phosphorus and potash. And yes, that electrical storm we had last week did a lot for the gardens. They really perked up. They started to flower. They started to get greener. But some of them are going to need more than just that. So what a lightning storm does for you, as that lightning streaks across the clouds, it burns the air. And so you get this nitrogen-infused rain. So it burns the air. So you get a quick source of nitrogen. I mean, it's available to the plant like immediately. That's why plants look so good after rain. It's not necessarily the rain. It could be the lightning actually supercharged the rain so that it has more nutrients in it than it otherwise would. And so, but if you can juice your plants a little bit more, you're really going to get the benefit. And so I fertilized, luckily, right before that event happened. I fertilized everything in the yard. I mean, I took 3 bags of all-purpose plant food, some superphosphate, and I just let everything happen. And I did one other, humic. So all-purpose plant food, 744 all-purpose plant food. It's a natural, all natural fertilizer, granular. It's for most things in the yards. Evergreens really like it. So that the cottonseed meal makes things real acidic. So your hollies and pines and cypress and cedars and junipers, they really like that. For my bloomers, I gave them some superphosphate in addition. So I gave everything the all-purpose plant food, but in addition, I kind of supercharged or juiced all my blooming things. Butterfly bush, Russian sage, salvias, the meadow sages, anything that's even remotely blooming or I had just pinched back, I gave it, in addition to the all-purpose, some superphosphate, 0,18,0. That middle number helps promote more flowers and more fruits. So I kind of juiced up my tomatoes, my peppers, flowers, and they just started going crazy. The things that were stressed, here's the last thing I gave them, was humic, H-U-M-I-C, humic. I have a couple of things that they got heat stressed, and I missed a water. Okay, it's on me. And so I just gave them some humic, and that feeds the soil, the roots. It encourages deeper roots. And so it fed the roots of the plants, not the top growth, the roots. So superphosphate, all-purpose food, and humic. And my yard looks amazing right now.
Wondering why the grass is always greener on the other side? Well, it's probably because your neighbor used the all-purpose fertilizer from Waters Garden Center. Monsoon is right around the corner, and it's the perfect time to feed your plants. Waters all-purpose fertilizer is the only organic made especially for Arizona mountain soils. Don't buy a bunch of different fertilizer for your flowers, veggies, trees, or grass. This one does it all. The plants on your side will be happier, healthier, well, greener. Safe, natural, organic. Waters Garden Center in Prescott.
For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.